I'm using jean seams. I made a mug rug, or like a coaster. I'm going to make another one. It's approximately 6 inches all the way across. This was my first one, so I was just learning. So getting the center started going is the most difficult part, because trying to get it to go around in a circle is really hard. So you can probably pick softer jeans, because now that I'm touching this one, it's a little bit softer than the last time. So I am putting this under here. This is a Bernina 950 industrial. It's not a true industrial because it has a lot of different stitches, but it has a lot of power behind it. It's on the industrial table with the motor underneath. I've got it set on the biggest zigzag I have, and then my stitch length is kind of short because I'm trying to catch everything. In the beginning here, I have to make the smallest little starting point that I can. So I'm going to kind of be going in the wrong direction. And then I want to convince it to go around a little bit. And I'm making extra stitches, talking it into doing that. I just realized though that I have it going the opposite way as the one I did last time. I don't know how much I'm going to dislike that. I also have a knee lifter, which helps when I'm trying to get things started, because I have two hands. So I have to make it loose enough that it lays flat, but tight enough that I'm talking it around in a circle. I actually did quite a few stitches the first time to flatten out the center portion. And I'm not really overlapping, I'm butting it up against each other to make it stay. I can't remember, what did I make with this before I put these on here? I probably have a size 14 needle on here, which is big for an industrial because you don't rely on the industrial for punch, you rely on the machine. Okay, so I went around this way before and had everything hanging off on that side. This is actually not really how I want to do this, but I'm kind of committed. Okay, so I'm going to go like this all the way to here and push this up against here really hard and change my direction to get this butted. And I guess for me, you can't be afraid to put thread in. I'm going to get it to go back over here, so now I'm on this side. So when I put it back here, and I feel like when it starts to get bigger, you have to let it sort of take up extra space around the outside so it doesn't curl too hard. The part of the jeans, oh see, I'm making it too tight because it's starting to buckle. So I want this to be, I want this to have extra fabric, so I'm pushing it this way. This is the rear seam, and then the part that goes across underneath the pockets. That's what I'm using right now. So this is the part that goes right up to the waistband, and then these are right hip to left hip, and then this is the crotch seam. I don't sew over these really these extra seams. I don't sew over these. This machine won't do it. So I've got one more for my other piece. I'm forgetting to get it extra. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to back stitch, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to flatten this a little bit more. So you can see that this isn't laying flat. This is. So part of the problem with this over here is that I didn't give this outside one enough space, but that's not the problem in the middle. The problem in the middle is that I've got a lot of bulk there. So I mean, I'm just kind of stitching over it. This machine has a tendency to have the stitch length get bigger, so I'm using the stitches to flatten out the stitching. And like I said, this one I have the bulk of the fabric underneath the arm instead of hanging out, and it's harder to stitch it this way, but we'll see. Okay, so we'll come back here. I've got one more piece from this pair of jeans. So I'm going to get this all the way up to here, get this one started, and then turn it out so that I can butt these up hard together and make them stuck together. And then now I've got the needle on the outside piece, and I'm going to try and, I don't know if I can make this one lay flat. I'm going to try and give this one extra so that it can go around the outside of the circle flat. Yeah, I think that's working to make it lay flat. So I'm just going to keep letting that have more ease, I guess, so that it lays flat around the outside. So I'm pushing this. There's not really a lot of flexibility here, but in this machine has a clutch motor, so it hums. Okay. Not really watching my colors. I'm going to cut off all of that extra. And then I wasn't using this tiny piece. I was putting that aside. You sometimes can't use absolutely everything. Okay, so I'm going to get this all the way up to here. Oops. And now I'm going to go out this way and butt these up together. And get this back over here. And then let that have extra ease as we're going around the outside so that it has the opportunity to lay flat. Another one. Where's my other pieces? I thought, there they are. I'm just going to straighten this a little bit. So we're getting this all the way up to here. And then, oh, my bob thread wore out. Oh darn. I know I have a shorter one of these with matching thread. This one's going to run out fast. Okay, so let's go back to here. And I'm going to backstitch. Make sure my stitch length is together. These up together, give them a few stitches, and then when I get back here I'm ready to go back around again. And just make sure that that outside piece is allowed to have whatever it needs to go all the way around. And I guess we're going to let it keep its rustler tag. How are we doing on size? What did I do with my ruler? There it is. We're getting there. I need to pick another one. Let's do this one. Am I doing on my width? That looks really good. So when I get to the end of this, I'm going to taper this like this so I can put this all the way up against here. I'm probably almost out of thread again, so I'm not going to really be able to go over everything. But one of the things that I think is necessary is to go over some of these stitches and make sure that it's caught all the way. So these are the two that I just made. They look really nice together. This one I did press, so I am going to go over this one a little bit and make sure that I caught everything together, and I think I can then press that a little bit and it'll lay nice and flat. But that is a really cool use of the inseams for using up the inseams in the jeans if you decide to cut them off when you're sewing.